Hi, good morning. In last video, I have explained about what is with and what is the difference between if else and select case. In this session, I'm going to explain what is loop, what are the looping concepts, and what are the different types of loops available in VBA. Now let's see what is a loop. Loops are one of the most powerful programming tools in VBA, and they allows user to repeat the same code block multiple times until a specific point is attained or a given condition is met. Once the condition is fulfilled, the program executes the next section of the code. For example, if you would like to run your code multiple times, in such cases you can use the loops. So what are the different types of loops available in VBA? We have four different types of loops. One is for loop, for each loop, do while, and do until loop. So what is this for? Let's see one by one. Let's go with the for loop first. What is a for loop? The for loop is a control structure that allows the user to write a loop that will be executed a specific number of times. In for loop, we should mention from where to where. From initial number we should mention, as well as the till how many number of runs we have to execute. The maximum number also we should provide. If you see the syntax here, for counter is nothing but a variable equals to start to end. Then statements and exit for statements and next. Let's see with some examples how we can write the for loop. I'm going to the Visual Basic Editor. I'm going to insert some module here. I will just rename it View Properties window. I'll just mention a for loop. Now I'm giving some procedure here for loop. For example, now I want to print some values from A1 to A10 with the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. I would like to enter some values from A1 to A10 cell. How we can achieve this? How we can achieve? By using a for loop also we can achieve this one. We can enter some values in cells. How we can write? What is the syntax and how we can write the for loop? Let's write. I'm going to declare my variable dim I as integer. And what is the syntax of our for? For we should give for my variable is I equals to 1 to 10. So I am saying that loop my I value from 1 to 10. Then whenever you use the for, you have to use the next to end your for. Like how you are using the end if for the if, how you are using the end with for the with, and how you are using the end select for the select case. Like that, whenever you use the for, we should we should close with the next. Now, in this portion, what will happen? Every time loop will execute. Initially, it will take I value is a 1 because we are going to start from the 1. Then it will come to this one. Next, it will go to the next. Then second time when it execute this loop, I value will be increased to 2. Then it will come here. Next. Then again it will come. Again I value will be increased. This time it will be 3. Like that till 10th value it will execute. Once it enter to the 10th, then it will come out from the loop. Now I want to print values from A1 to A10. Usually how you will enter a values by using a VBA. In general I am saying like cells of 1 comma 1. I want to give a 1 in the cells of 1 comma 1. Now cells of if I would like to print the value at A2, then it would be like 2 comma 1. 2 comma 1 equals to 2. Then cells of 3 comma 1 equals to 3. Then cells of 4 comma 1 equals to 4. Like this we used to give, right? So now to avoid this repeated lines, to avoid these kind of statements, so we are using the for loop. Now what is the value it is changing? If you observe in this code, what is the value it is changing? It is changing the row number. Row number is 1 2 3 4. Column number is remain same, but row number is changing to 1 2 3 4 like this. So what is our what is our concept here? It's a for loop. What it will do, it will keep on increase my variable value from 1 to 10. So initially when it comes, I value is 1. When it comes to second time 2, when it comes to 3, when it comes to third fourth time, it will be the 4. Now instead of writing all these things, I'm just removing. So instead of a 1, I'm going to give a I here. So what will happen now? When my loops execute at the first time, I value is 1. So here in this portion, it will be overwrite with 1 value. Now cells of 1 comma 1, it is again a 1 here. So here I want to change the value also based on the cell. So here I am going to give a I also, because I should not hard code this one. Now what will happen when it execute first time, cells of 1 comma 1 and I value is 1, 1 will be printed here. When it comes to the second time, I value will be increased to 2, then cells of 2 comma 1 equals to 2. Then third time I value will be 3, cells of 3 comma 1 equals to 3. Then fourth time 4 I value will be 4, 4 comma 1 equals to 4. Let's execute our code. I'm going to the step into I value is 1. See, cells of 1 comma 1 value is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now it's reached to 10. It won't go again to the loop. It will come out because it's reached already a maximum number. And it came out. This is how you can use the loop, for loop. Next, what is for each loop? A for each loop is used to execute a statement or a group of statements for each element in an array or collection. In for loop, what we are doing? In for loop, we are giving the minimum number and maximum number attempts. Means, for example, I want to loop my code from row 2 to row 10. So in that cases, you are giving a minimum number as 2, and what is the maximum number? It is you are going to give a 10. But when it comes to the for each, you no need to mention a number here. Rather than using a number, by using a for each, how it will loop is, if you take a set of elements, or let's say if you are taking some group, in that group whatever elements are there, how many elements are there, it will loop through the each and every element. No need to give a mention, no need to mention a number here. For example, if your group is having, okay, let me show here. For example, let's take this is my group from A1 to A20. I would like to consider this as my group. So here, if you take each cell as a element, how many elements we have it in this group? We have a 20 elements we have it. So if we mention that group name in a for each loop, if we loop through the each element for each element in the group, what it will do, it will go through the each and every element, whether it is a 20 or 25 or 30, so on. How many elements are in that group? Each and every element it will go. In future, if your group got extended to 25 also, you no need to change anything in your code. It will automatically consider, because you are going through the each element in the group. You are not mentioning any specific number in your code. You are mentioning each element in the group. So that's why it will go through the entire group, rather than going to the rather than considering some number. Now let's take, I'm going to give my group name. Let's consider this one only. From A1 to A15, I'm going to give some name. I'm just considering as some group, this one as. So what will be the name that we can give? Any name that you can give. I'm just giving a named range here. I'm going to give my range as class. So this I have named as a class now. I want to go, I would like to go through the each and every element in the class group by using a for each. Let's write a for each loop here. Hmm. Now I'm going to mention dim. I'm just considering as a cell as range. Now what is the syntax? If you see what is the syntax of for each element in group, for each element in group, then you can write some statements and you can use the next. For loop and for each loop, for both you have to close with the next. Now I'm going to write a for each element, I mean for each element, which is nothing but a for each cell, for each range, which is I am taking this one, for each cell, for each cell in what, in my range. What is the range? Range of class. This is my range, and I should end up with the next for the for each. Okay, now my for each syntax is ready. For each cell is nothing but a range. For each range in a range class, it means for each a1, a2, a3, a4, everything it will go. Now I would like to print the address, same address. If this is cell, if this is the cell, I would like to print out with this cell address, and when it comes to here, I would like to print out this with the with this address, and I would like to print out with this address. So I want to print some addresses here, the respective cell. How I can do that? Here you can give a cell dot value. You can directly give cell dot value is nothing but for when it goes to for each cell, means it will consider that as a cell. In that cell dot value equals to, I'll just give that address only, the respective address only I am going to print out now. Here I haven't mentioned any starting number and ending number. Rather than mentioning the starting number and ending number, we are going through the for each element in the group. This is called a group, and this is the element for each element. And that element dot value equals to, I am just taking that element dot address. Now I am going to the step into my code and see a1, and it comes to next element a2, next element a3, next element a4, so on till which element it will go, till 15th, because I have a group called it till I have only till 15th I have mentioned as a class range. Now what is the advantage for the for each? What is the difference between a for and for each? What is the advantage with the for each? Here let's say now I want to loop through the 30th line. So what you will do in a for loop? You come here and you should change your value here. But when it comes to the for each loop, if you change the named range here, okay, here as of now it is taking till A13 only. I'm going to change now till A15 only. Now I'm going to change till A30. So now my group got changed and extended to 30 now. Now I'm going to execute the same code and see it's the value got printed till 30. This is one of the advantages. Without going to the code, we can change, we can walk through the I mean we can modify the directly in Excel itself. And for loop also we can maintain as a dynamic code also by finding a last cell. As I mentioned in the previous classes, you can find out a last cell here by taking some other variable, and you can pass that variable here, so that it will go through the maximum number of used cell. Means whatever last user cell is there, till that cell your for loop will go through. But the difference is for and for each compared to the for each is a more efficient way to execute your code. For loop sometimes it may get slow down, or process performance might decrease. But when it comes to for each loop, it will be the good process. Always use a for each loop in your codes rather than using the for loop. Now next, what is do while loop? A do while loop is used when we want to repeat a set of statements as long as the condition is true. The condition may be checked at the beginning of the loop or at the end of the loop. Basically, what a do while is, it will loop through the code by checking the condition. When it comes to for and for each loop, we are not checking any condition. We are just giving a number, execute till this number this many times in both for and for each loop, right? But when it comes to the do while loop, it will check the condition. We should give some condition. If the condition is true, then only it will go to the loop and it will execute the code. If condition is false, then it will come out from the loop. It won't execute the loop. So in condition checking, if you would like to check some condition and go and execute your code in such scenarios, you can use the do while loop. Let's see some example for the do while also. I'm going to write do while loop now. So I will just take the scenario now. For example, I have some data like this: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, let's not take this example. Okay. Now, by using, I will just explain a simple example how we can use the do while loop. I want to print some values from A1 to A9 only. If it reaches to 10, after 10 I don't want to print any value. Usually in for loop you will mention, in that cases so you will mention like you will mention like 1 to 9, right? But when it comes to do while, you can provide some condition to check. How we can provide some condition? Sub will try to take do while, then I'm going to declare my variable dim I as integer. Now I'm going to check do while here we should give some condition I less than 10. This is my condition, and whenever you use the do while, you have to end up with loop. But for and for each, you have to use the next. When you come to the do while and do until, you have to use the loop. Okay. Now I'm going to print cells of same example. I'm just taking cells of I comma equals to I. Now here differently we have to provide. I haven't provided here I value now. So we should provide a I value initially. I'm providing initially I'm passing my I value equals to 1. Then every time when it execute, I value will not increase because we haven't mentioned any maximum number like from 1 to 10 or 1 to something like that cell in from the entire element, all the elements in the group like that we haven't mentioned. We have just given some condition, but nowhere we are increasing the number. So but loop will execute until this condition is true. So if you mention like this, initially I value equals to 1, 1 less than 10, it is true, it will come here and it will loop again. Again I value will not increase till it will be 1, again it will come. So it will go to the infinite loop because every time your value will be 1 only, so it won't change, so it will fall under the infinite loop, which is wrong. So you have to provide you have to increase your I value here. I equals to I plus 1 now. So now once initially it will take as a 1 and it will print your value as 1, then I value will increase it to 2, this time 2 less than 10, third time it will come 3 less than 10, fourth time it will come 4 less than 10, fifth time it will come 5 less than 10. Like that it will execute. Let's execute and check. See, I'm going to just step into to my code. Initially my I value is 1, which is true. Till when it will execute? Till this condition is satisfied. Once this is not satisfied, then it will come out from the loop and it will execute till this is the false. Once it is false, then it will come out from the loop. See, my I value is 5 now, 6 now, 7 now, 8 now, 9 now, and now my I value is increased to 10. Now 10 less than 10, is it true or false? 10 less than 10 is false, so it will come out from the loop. It won't execute again. This is the purpose of the do while loop. It will check the condition and it will go to the loop only when the condition is till the condition is true. Once the condition is false, it will come out from the loop. You should understand the difference of the each loop. In for loop, you are mentioning the number from some number to some number to loop your code. When it comes to the for each loop, you are mentioning loop through the each element in the group. When it comes to the do while, you are not mentioning any number, starting number or ending number. You are providing here the condition to check and execute your code. I have just taken a simple example to make you easily understand. So when the condition is true, it's in summary do while only it will enter into the statements only the condition when the condition is true. Once the condition is false, it will come out from the loop and it won't execute again. Then what is do until? Do until is completely opposite to the do while. It will execute only when the condition is false. If for example, if you use the do until, if the your condition is false, then only it will go to the code. When it will come out from the loop is if your condition is false, if your condition is true, then it will come out from the loop. Let's see what is a do until. A do until loop statements run until a logical statement is true, which means when your statement is false, it will enter into the loop. When it comes to the your condition is true, then it will come out from the loop. This means that as a long as your expression is false, the program will run until it is true. Once the expression is true, the program stops running. As I said, once it is true, then it will come out from the loop. It's completely opposite to the do while loop. Syntax is same. There you have used do while. Here you are going to use the do until, and you have to provide a condition here, then perform some task and loop. Let's see some example for the do until also. Sub do until. Same thing. I'm going to declare some variable my as integer. Then we should provide initial value I equals to 1. Same example I'm just taking. Now instead of using do while, do until, now I'm going to write I greater than 10. I greater than 10. As I said, whenever you use the do while or do until, you have to use the loop. Now my do until is ready. Here I'm going to mention same thing. Same code I'm just repeating, but the process I am just changing the condition. Now I have given a I greater than 10. Here it was a I less than 10. Here I have given a I greater than 10. I'll show you why I have taken a I greater than 10. Now cells of I comma 1 equals to I am just taking directly. Then I equals to I plus 1. I'm increasing the value. I will just remove this one. Now let's see, as I said, do until it will enter into the loop only when your condition is false. It will come out from the loop when your condition is true. Let's check. I'm going to the step into now function f8, and my I value is 1. 1 greater than 10. Is it true or false? 1 greater than is false. It is false. Now it entered into the statements. Means it's gone through the loop now, and it is printing the values. Now I value is increased to 2. Still it is false. It came. And 3 greater than 10. Still it is false, and it entered into the statements. And see, now I value is 4. 5, it is also false. 6 greater than 10 is false. 7 greater than is false. 8 greater than 10 is false. 9 greater than 10 is false. Now my I value is 10. 10 greater than 10. See, my I value is 11, which is true. Right? 10 greater than 10 is false. It entered into the loop and it printed the value over there. When it comes to the 11, is it 10 greater than 11? Is it a true? Yes. This condition is true. So it haven't executed. It haven't gone through this statement. It directly came out from the loop. So this is the difference between a do while and do until. What is the major difference? In do while, it will go until your statement is false. When it comes to do until, it will go through your code until the statement is true. Once it is true, it will come out from the loop. These are the four different types of loops. One is for loop, one is a for each loop, and do while loop and do until loop. Hope you understand these four different loops. I'm just giving a summary. In for loop, we are using the starting number and ending number from which number to which number your code should execute. When it comes to the for each loop it will go through the all the elements in in group. It loop through the all the elements. When it comes to the do while loop, it will we can execute our code. We can loop through our code by checking some condition. In do while, it will go only when your condition is true. It will come out from the loop when the condition is false. Do until is completely opposite to your do while loop. It will go only when your condition is false. It will come out from the loop when your condition is true. These are the four different types of loops are available in VBA. We'll see the next topics in next video. Thank you.